right. Hi Nike members. I'm Paleta, your Nike trainer for today. We take another couple of moments before we start with the session, so feel free to get comfortable. And I will be with you very shortly to start our live session today. Also feel free to type into the comments on YouTube where you are tuning in from. I would be super interested to know where you guys are tuning in from. Where are you located? What part of the world are you joining from? I'd love to know. If you see me go over to the side, it's so that I can take note of what's happening with the live and see your comments so that I can be interactive with you as well. Okay. Amazing. I see Berlin is tuning in. Italy is tuning in. So yeah, feel free to drop any comments throughout the session that you have. I will make sure that I keep going towards my laptop here and check what you are messaging and what comes through. So we will take another maybe 2 to 3 minutes before we start the session. And I will properly make an introduction, but we will give everybody some time to arrive in the space, to tune in, and yeah. I'm checking here, I can see from Italy again, Czech Republic, we have Germany in the house, we have Finland, Berlin again, Italy. Amazing, cool. It's so nice to know where you're tuning in from. I myself currently am in Switzerland. Usually I'm based in London, but right now I'm in Switzerland, so tuning in from here. Denmark, amazing, nice. Hi from Bottrop. Okay. Cool. This is working well. I hope for you as well. I can see the comments. I'm in the live here with you. And we will slowly get started. Let me know that you're ready. Send a thumbs up. Give me a go when you're ready to go in the comments. Okay, Germany. Thanks for clarifying. Cool. I get the thumbs up, that means we're good to go. Cool. So I'm going to move a little bit back to have a nice comfortable seat. And yeah, if you want to grab something as well, I have a yoga block here. You can use any pillows from your couch. You can use any blankets to roll up. You don't even have to sit cross-legged. You can totally sit in kneeling position, just anything that feels comfortable to you. And I will share a little bit more about you, what the session is about today. First and foremost, I want to welcome you to this live session. We are really celebrating the element of air on these member days, but what we're mostly celebrating is you, our Nike members. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Thank you from my side for joining in. I'm excited for the session and we're good to go. Okay, so a little bit of an introduction. Who am I? Why am I leading this session? I'm Paleta. I'm a Nike trainer. I'm also a movement artist, choreographer. I have a background within the creative industries is mainly where I move. I train people, focused on, developing movement, authentic movement for others, but also improving, training methods and supporting others with that. And why is breath so important to me? So when I started to train more intensively around the age of 12, I was going through a phase where I thought I was asthmatic, I think we say. But actually it turned out that I would just always hold my breath when I go full out in training. And after that, I would just be completely done and I couldn't breathe anymore and I was panicking. So with time, I started to understand that I'm actually holding my breath during exercise, during my dance training, and not breathing properly. So as I got older, I started to do more research and I started to practice more yoga and different breathing techniques in order to support, you know, really my quality of life and my performance in training and on stage, because it's not a way to go to just hold your breath, really. And so yeah, I would love to share with you a couple of the takeaways for today's sessions if you have not already seen it. It's really about, would love to introduce you a little bit more to understand the process of breathing in order to optimize the way we breathe, and kind of obviously making the connection of the breath and on our health and the benefits of proper breathing to our health. And I would love to give you a couple of suggestions on how to breathe during exercise, and then also a few breathing techniques that you can apply in your life that support you in your relaxation, that help you to amplify your performance when you work out, and just really improve your overall quality of life like it has done for me. So I'm very passionate about it. A couple of logistics is literally the session might be a little bit less than 1 hour, so you also have time to ask any questions if you want to. I would love to invite you to play your own music at home. As you can hear, I don't have any music, so that you can choose at home whatever playlist you want to have. It will be more a calm session. It won't be much high intensity. So anything that's supporting that space for you to you know, become a bit more calm, play whatever you like, what works best for you. Hands up. You can even share in the comments what you're listening to so that we know what zone you're in. And then as we advertised it as well, this is an open level session. So maybe some of or all of what I will be sharing with you today is nothing new. You already know. That's cool. I hope I can repeat a couple of things that you already know. And maybe everything that I'm going to talk about and share with you today is new to you. Whatever the case, thank you for being here. We're in this ride together. I'm here with you, so I'm excited and look forward to that. And I think that was it regarding the logistics. Again, make sure that you're comfortable when you're seated. We will talk about posture, so anything that can help you to raise and elevate your seat a little bit will naturally increase your posture, be that a block, be it books, be it a pillow, whatever you want, okay? And then the next point, just a little bit of placement. The session might be a little bit different from what you are used to seeing on the Nike channel or any other workouts you have done. It at all will not be about high intensity. It's really much more a bit of educational and experiential and trying out these different breathing techniques and really creating awareness around our own breath. So it might not be what you're used to. And I hope you're cool with that. And yeah, like I said, we will learn about the breath, then we will experience it through these techniques, and then we will also do a little bit of movement, but not too much today. We will look at the mechanics of breathing. Yeah, and then we will, sorry, just lost it. We want to look at how to breathe properly, and we want to also look a little bit about on the yogic perspective, because this is also part of my background. This is what I study and practice, so I'd love to share with you how this has helped me with anything else that I do in my life and how I approach training in other disciplines. And then breathing during exercise. These will be suggestions. It's not the ultimate way. This is always a journey. We're all learning, and it's also very much about finding out what works best for you, based on research and knowledge that is out there. Okay, and I invite you right now to actually get up with me, because before we go already into breathing and information being said to you, I would love for us to kind of get out any last little energy that we feel like I need to fidget around, I need to move. So if you want to put the block away, you can get up, and we are literally just gonna tap down our own body. If you're wearing shoes, that's fine. We will start with the right leg. So literally just lift up your leg, hold yourself somewhere if you need to, tap down. Start with the bottom of your right foot, bring it all the way up. Your calf over your knee, be gentle here, the back of the leg, side, up your thigh, all the way to the butt. And then we will change. Bottom of the left foot, find your balance, bring it up. Calf, shin, around the knee, back of the leg, thigh, bring it up. And then glutes, you can do both hands now. This is a nice one. I really use the bottom of the palm, almost the wrist. Good, and then we go to the arm. I start at the top of the arm, bring it all the way up. Just tap it down, up. I turn it inside. Bring it up, under the arm. And I go down the side of my body. And notice what happens with your breath already, how you start to intensify. Are you breathing through the mouth? Are you breathing through the nose? Just observe. You're starting with the other arm, bring it all the way up. And then inside as well, like we did before. Bring it up under the arm, all the way down the side of my body. Okay, I bring it onto the lower belly, gentle here. Bring it up. Some of us can go over the chest, some of us will have to go through the middle. Okay, and bring it up here. Take a few breaths. Good. And from here, we're going to go to the back again. Bring both of your hands onto your glutes. Bring it up your back. Same here. Notice what happens to your breath. How are you breathing? Good. We bring it back up. From here, we're now going to travel up the throat. You can make noise if you want. We'll get into that later. Up your face. I'm wearing a hat, so if you're wearing one as well, you know what to do. Bring up your forehead. Travel all the way up to the crown of your head. I'm using the tips of my fingers here. Literally just tap, 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 tap. Bring it to the back of your head. All the way down, back, 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 onto your neck. You can go over your shoulders. And then give yourself a last little hug, tap down. And then you can shake it out. Rub your hands together, breathe. Inhale. Exhale out. One more inhale. Exhale out. And then release. And you can shake it out. And I hope we were able to move a bit of energy through the body. Just let go of anything that you was holding on to before we can get into the session and start to focus more on some stillness. So bring back your block, your pillow, whatever you were sitting on. You can come to sit. You can also sit in a different position, like I said earlier. And I want to speak to you first about the mechanics of breathing. And yeah, make sure that you're comfortable. As I said, we're going to speak about it. We're going to do some exercises and then speak about it more. Okay? Just checking in as well. If anybody had a comment. I see a lot of highs, hi as well. Good. The reason why I want to go with you through the mechanics of breathing is mainly because it's going to make, when we understand something better, it makes it easier to apply, and it makes it more intentional later on when we do these breathing exercises. So the phases of breathing, nothing new at all. We have the inspiration, also what we know as inhalation. We bring the air into the lungs. We have the expiration, the exhalation, where we exert the air out from the lungs. And there is this natural short pause at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. That's the natural phases of our breath. When we breathe naturally and normally in our own rhythm, that's usually how we do it. And the passage of the air is really goes from either the mouth or the nose through the throat all the way back to what we call the voice box, the windpipe, into the bronchi, into the right and left bronchi of the lungs, and it goes into these smaller tubes, the bronchioles, and then into the alveoli, these little air sacs, okay? And these air sacs, they are wrapped around them are the capillaries, if I can speak. There we go, the capillaries. And this is where what we call diffusion, the gaseous exchange, is happening. And if this sounds what to you, no worries, we will explore it, but it's good to have heard it, where the gaseous exchange happens. And this is where the oxygen that we breathe in goes into the bloodstream, to the heart, and to our body, and circulated around our body, and where the carbon dioxide is brought back into the lungs, in which we then exhale, okay? And I want to speak to you about the organs and the muscles that are involved in this process of breathing. And I think it's clear that the lungs are the organs. And the main muscle involved, which I'm sure some of you know as well, is the diaphragm. And then there's also the intercostal muscles. These are the ones between the ribs that are involved in the breathing process. And when we breathe in, our ribs expand, yeah? Our ribs expand. The diaphragm, it flattens, and it lowers the organs, and it moves the organs down. And what happens is that the abdominal and the pelvic floor muscles, they lengthen. When we exhale, when we breathe out, the diaphragm lifts, the pelvic floor and the abs, they contract. They do it naturally. We don't have to think about it. I will speak about this later on. Okay, it happens naturally, and they come back into their resting position. So with all that knowledge, or with all that information, I would love to invite you just to start with a couple of breaths. Nice and simple. So we're not even doing any ratio. I just invite you, you can close your eyes or you can keep your eyes open. So we will just breathe, okay? Breathing in and out through the nose. So take a moment, sit up nice and tall. Take a moment to align. Usually I like to say the crown of your head over your chest, and align the chest over your pelvis, so that your posture is nice and aligned. Okay, when you're ready, relax your hands, take a few breaths. Inhale. Exhale out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And just keep breathing for a moment, literally just nasal breathing in and out through the nose. And with this information you have received before, when I breathe in, the ribs expand, the diaphragm flattens, the organs are going down, and the abdominal muscle and the pelvic floor muscles, they relax. As I exhale, abdominals and pelvic floor contracts, the diaphragm comes into this dome shape. Yes, and just observe how this happens. Couple of breaths in and out. I'll come and check with the comments. Just keep breathing. You can close your eyes if that helps you. Okay. Take a few more breaths and just notice what you notice. We call this sometimes as well, feel your body breathing. So really tuning into this observing stage. I'm paying attention. What is my body doing as I breathe? Just creating awareness. We take a few more. Breathing in and out through the nose, nice and simple. Okay, and when you feel like that was enough for me, you can just relax and maybe have a sip of water if you want to. You can also do a quick drop in the chat how that went for you, what your thoughts are. If I'm having a couple of hangers, I'm sorry. And just, yeah, let me know anything that comes up for you, any observations that you want to share. Absolutely feel free to drop them in the chat. How does it feel to just observe your body breathing? The next thing that we're going to do and we're going to look at, I actually enjoy being a bit closer to you here, is how to breathe properly. Yeah, and I think it's important to say that, it's like a disclaimer, I guess there's no real right way of breathing, because it's more so a journey of working towards improved breathing. There's so many different techniques, and there's so many different studies as well. And of course, there's certain foundations that are scientifically proven, but at the same time, I do very much believe it's a matter of practice. We become good at what we practice. So it's about exploring that in your own way. What way works best for me to breathe? So never be afraid to explore on your own and take time to use these techniques that we're going to look at in a moment and see what works best for you, okay? Right. So breathing is part of the autonomic nervous system, right? The autonomic nervous system is the system that controls involuntary functions such as breathing, such as our heart rate and our digestion. We don't have to think about those processes. They happen automatically. And we have the sympathetic nervous system, which is part of the autonomic nervous system, and then also the parasympathetic nervous system, which is also part of the autonomic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, as we know it, most of us say fight or flight. I would like to say freeze, flight, and then lastly we would fight. And then the parasympathetic nervous system is more the rest and digest. So it's the one that is calming us down. And I want to look at you at kind of these two ways of breathing, main ways of breathing, which the first one will be shallow breathing, which I'm sure you have heard. And then the second one will be we'll take a deeper look at deep breathing, okay? So when we talk about shallow breathing, it is like a shallow pattern that goes only through the chest, and it is only really involving the intercostal muscles that we talked about earlier, the muscles between the ribs. It doesn't really involve the diaphragm, which is the main muscle when we breathe deeply, okay, which we will look at in a moment. And when you only breathe and expand into like your upper chest, the air, it doesn't go all the way down into the lungs. It won't really reach those alveoli, those air sacs that we talked about before when we spoke about the mechanics of breathing. So when you're shallow breathing, it's often also breathing fast. You often feel breathless, no matter how much air you think you're actually taking in, because sometimes you think like, if I breathe faster, there's more air coming in, which is not really the case. So it's important to be aware that faster breathing doesn't mean that you have more air coming in. Okay, shallow breathing is as well, it's what happens in the state of when we are stressed, or it can cause stress. It has both of these effects, because again, we are not properly breathing down into our lungs, into our full capacity, which is the parasympathetic, to give a stimulus to the parasympathetic nervous system in order to calm down. It's all up here, okay? It's the stressful breathing. And it's also the way we live, and our surroundings can have a big impact on this, on making us shallow breathing, because we feel like we have to constantly be ready. Like I said, it's that sympathetic nervous system state that we're in, the way we sometimes live our lives. So I want to talk to you now about deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, which is a parasympathetic state. It's a calm state. It is much more, if I say it in yogic terms, it is that yin state. It's grounding. And I think it's important with deep breathing, what the intention is, it is supporting ourselves for functional breathing so that we can do functional movement. If we can breathe properly, we can move properly, right? So the main muscles involved, of course, is the diaphragm. And what happens is when we talk about deep breathing, sometimes we have this idea that it means I need to take a huge breath in, and that is deeper breathing, and then out. Okay, if you want, I'm sure you have done this before. You can breathe with me at home for a moment. Take a deep breath in and the breath out. If you just do it like that, and me animating this session, we are still just breathing into the upper chest, really. What deep breathing really means is that we slow down our breath. We slow it down, and we are controlling the breath more. Okay, yes. When we slow down our breathing, it means that we increase the time that the air that we breathe in spends in the lungs. So the air stays for a longer amount of time in the lungs and has more time to reach those air sacs, the alveoli, where this exchange of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide happens. And slowing down your breathing, it allows your body to send a message to your brain that indicates you're not in danger. So you're not in that state of freeze, flight or fight mode. And you activate the parasympathetic nervous system by slowing down your breathing. And that exactly as well, in turn allows your body to slow down. It allows it to rest, it allows it to heal, and it allows it to recover, okay? And I would love to do a little breathing ratio now with you, where we kind of tune into that. And we're gonna do one first, a little tricky one, just to give you a little experience, and then we will work and build up to something, okay? So I'm gonna ask you to again come into your comfortable position. Sit up nice and tall. You don't have to cross your legs. You can if you want to. Same thing as before. If you're kneeling as well, just make sure, even if you're sitting on the chair, that would be absolutely fine. If you're not able to sit on the floor, just align the crown of your head over your heart, the heart to be aligned over your pelvis. Spine is nice and tall, nice and tall, nice and long. Okay. So we're going to do a breathing ratio where I invite you. We're going to take 4 counts to breathe in for the inhale. At the top, we're gonna hold the breath for about 5 seconds. I will count. Then we're gonna exhale for an 8 count, and we will again hold the breath at the bottom for 5 counts. We will do it breathing through the nose only. I will guide you. I will repeat again just so that I'm clear. We will inhale through the nose for a count of 4. We will hold our breath at the top for 5 counts. Then we will exhale for an 8 count. So I will count to 8 and hold the breath again at the bottom of the exhale for 5 counts. Okay, you're with me? We're gonna do this together. Just take a normal breath in, inhale, and a breath out. We will begin. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold your breath for 2, 3, 4, 5, and return to normal breathing. Okay, so this maybe was a little bit of a, can I breathe? Can I breathe? I cannot hold it. The inhale was shorter than the exhale. If you've never done this before, this is a lot of information, and I wanted you to actually experience a little bit of, but I don't have enough air. Because, why did I want that? I want to explain it to you. It's exactly what I explained to you earlier. Deep breathing means that I am also calculating how much breath I am taking in if I have a 4 count. And if I have an 8 count to exhale, I have to make sure that I don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the air is out, and then I have to hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it. No, we want to control, we want to work with our breath, and we want to support, again, our breathing so that it can support us in also better health and better performance, okay? So we're going to work towards it again. New ratio. If you were like, what the heck just happened? Don't worry, I'm with you, okay? We're going to work together. We're going to do the ratio, super simple. 4 counts in, hold for 2 counts, exhale for 6, and hold for 2. I repeat, inhale for a 4 count. Really time yourself that you use the whole 4 counts for the breath in. Hold it at the top for 2 counts. And then exhale for a 6 count. Time yourself. Calculate, okay? Be slow. And then hold your breath at the bottom for 2. We do about 4 rounds together. We good? Drop me a comment in the chat if you're still with me. Let me know how you're feeling, okay? I'm gonna do this and then we'll take a little break. Can go and have a little sip of water or something in a moment. Okay, so I want to invite you, just take a normal breath in through the nose and the breath out. We will begin the ratio, breathing in through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 1, 2. Second round, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 1, 2. One more. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 1, 2, and let your body breathe. Return to normal breathing, your natural rhythm. Take a moment to observe your body breathing. What is your body doing? How are you feeling? What are your experiences? Take a moment. And then feel free to take a quick break. Have a sip of water if you need it. Drop me a comment in the chat or in the live if you're still with me, if you have any questions. If you can follow along, great. I'm feeling well now, I can read. I see, I really struggle with thoughts when I just want to observe my breath. Yes. So we will get into this in a moment as we're going to look a little bit more at the yogic perspective. So much easier with 4, 6. Yes, so I threw you in the cold water there with this little 4, 5, 8, 5. This was literally just to make it a point about what deep breathing means. It means that I'm controlling my breath to breathe slower rather than taking a deep breath in and then out. And I think that was it. I really want to involve. Remember, we want to bring the air all the way down into these air sacs as much as we can, as long as we can, and then breathe it out. Okay. Let me know if there's any other questions. I see somebody's asking about the French people. If you're French, give a little reply. Good. Somebody said their heart rate went higher. So this is also possible. Why is this? Because this is new information for your system. Remember, most of new information that we are applying to our system, to our body, at first, it will be a stress. The more we practice, it will become more clear and the body gets used to it and can actually reap the benefits of that which we are doing. So it's okay if that happened. And especially in that first one where you felt like there's not enough air. Right. I'd love to continue if you're with me. And I hope you're feeling good. We will do a little bit of movement in a moment. I want to speak to you about the yogic perspective. So in yoga, the term that we use, the Sanskrit term that we use for breathing techniques, I'm sure you have heard of it, is pranayama, okay? And it's one of the 8 limbs of yoga, only one of 8. And it's really pranayama we use in yoga to direct the movement of our life force. We say that the breath is the life force, prana, the energy, that which keeps us alive, our essence, okay? And it's also about the practice to stilling the mind. What does that mean? Greg, I believe it was, said that, you know, you have trouble with your thoughts when you focus on your breath. So what we do when we focus on our breath, we are bringing our awareness into the present moment. So giving ourselves a ratio for example, like we did, 4 counts to breathe in, 2 to hold, 6 to breathe out, and 2 to hold at the bottom. We are almost occupying our awareness on what to do. We have direction. So it is simpler to not get distracted by any other thoughts because you're drawing your awareness into the present moment, onto the task that you are aiming to do. And it's an amazing task because you are directing life force energy. Okay, the movement of the life force energy through the body. in the yogic perspective. Okay, I'm aware that not everyone relates to it in that way, but that's from that point of view. And of course, as well, from yoga, it's the same. It is a natural tranquilizer of the nervous system. So it's like free medicine to calm down, really. You have your breath, you have everything, really. And I want to talk about nasal breathing. So breathing through the nose. It supports the opening and the balancing of the energetic channels within our body. Again, this is more in yogic terms. If you're unfamiliar with that, that's okay. And if you are a regular practitioner, you know exactly what that means. And it's, again, a tool to quiet and to steady the mind. I want to share with you something really interesting that we're going to explore in a moment. These energy channels, there's like two main energy channels, which we are calling the right one through the right nostril is the Pingala Nadi. Nadis are these energy channels. And we want to breathe through that nostril when we feel a bit more sluggish, when we feel tired. Because if we breathe through that right nostril, it will increase our energy. It will be revitalizing and energizing. However, when we breathe through the left nostril, the Ida Nadi, it is more when we are agitated, when we feel stressed, and when we feel that we need to calm down. Then we can breathe more through the left nostril, which will again support us in coming into that parasympathetic state. Okay, and then I want to give in a moment the option as well. I'm sure sometimes if you have ever practiced yoga, or if you are familiar with it, sometimes we encourage that you breathe out through the mouth. Breathing out through the mouth can be an extra element of release of tension, of built up stress. And there's also another element to it, which is when we also encourage sound. So any sighs, I'm sure you have done this. If you want to take a deep breath with me, a deep one, a slow one, a breath in, and then you just kind of sigh it out. Or even more, breathing in, and then you let it go. It's a bit awkward sometimes depending on where you do it, and if you've never done it, if you get this like, what? It's fine. But it can really help. So it's toning, we call it toning. The use of sound on the exhale, again, it is an energetic release. It is a release of tension, of built up stress that we hold in the body, okay? So if you ever feel like, whoa, I'm really, really stressed, you can also, again, breathe through the left nostril as we will do in a moment, and then exhale through the mouth. Okay, so let's breathe, I would say. We're gonna start with the left nostril. So let's imagine we're a little bit in a situation where we're a bit stressed, a bit agitated. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna do a very simple variation, nothing crazy. We just close the right nostril with our right thumb. I just close it, and you will only be able to breathe in and out through the left nostril. Nice and simple. I just closed the hole. Okay. Again, I find an upright position, supporting myself to be able to breathe deeply all the way down into the lungs. Okay. Great. What we're going to do, we're going to breathe in through the nose, through the left nostril, and out through the nose, the left nostril. Just keep the right nostril closed. Okay. We're going to start. We're doing breathing in through the left. Breathing out through the left. Nice and slow. Breathing in. Breathing out. Another one. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. let go of the right nostril. Just take a few moments, breathe through both. And again, feel your body breathing. Notice what happens. Notice the changes that occur and how you feel. Hopefully you feel your breath immediately going a little deeper. Feel free to share any observations that you have in the comments. And then we will change over to the other side. We will close the left nostril with the left thumb. Breathe through the right nostril. Okay, just breathing through the right nostril, nice and calm. When you're ready, close the left nostril. And then breathing in through the right. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in. Soften the jaw as well. Breathing out. 1 more inhale. Exhale out. And release. Take a few breaths. Natural rhythm of breathing. And just observe. Okay, so I want to remind you, we will do it in a moment as well, towards the end, where we exhale a couple of times through the mouth and with some sound included as well. When you feel, and when you have a situation where you feel sluggish, you feel like, oh, I'm a bit lazy today, I can't really get going, take a moment, do some breathing exercises. Close the left nostril, breathe through the right. Find a ratio, maybe add a ratio of breathing in for 4 counts, hold it at the top, and then breathe out for 4 counts to begin with. Or breathe in for 4, hold, exhale for 6, for example. Okay? You choose, work your way towards elongating the exhale. Feeling sluggish, tired, closing the left, breathing through the right. If I feel super irritated, I feel stressed, I have a lot going on, I need to calm myself down, find my focus again, I close my right nostril and breathe through the left nostril. And especially when breathing through the left nostril, which is when we want to tune into the parasympathetic nervous system more, then try to elongate your exhale as much as you can. Okay? Good. How are we feeling? I'm going to read it quickly, a few comments. Feeling a little sleepy? Okay. Right, as I mentioned in the beginning, there would be less movement, so hopefully you're still with me, even though we do a bit less. Could you combine the ratio breath counting and closing one side of the nostril? I hope I just answered this question for you when I said closing and combining the ratio. Exactly, that's what we want. Okay, I'm going to move on now. And we're going to go into a little bit deeper, just for a moment, on breathing during exercise, because I know so many of you are, obviously, we are moving our bodies constantly, and we want to improve our performance, maybe in the gym, maybe in our training in general, in dance, or whatever it is that you're practicing, or maybe even in yoga, and you have never really understood when to breathe in and when to breathe out. So when we exercise, the levels of carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions, if that doesn't say, if you don't understand what that means, is what we breathe out, what comes out, the waste, it's not just waste, in the bloodstream, it increases, and it triggers essentially to increase the breathing rate. So it makes us breathing faster, right? And the real driving force behind respiration is actually not so much that wanting to take oxygen in, but more to exhale carbon dioxide and to remove it from our system. general rule when you exercise is that when you inhale, it is on your relaxation, and when you exhale is during exertion. So when we put the power through, when I do a push-up, I inhale to lower, I exhale to push, okay? And I'm going to speak a little bit in a moment as well about the asana in postures in yoga and this flow, what we know as dynamic vinyasa, for example. What does that even mean? So if you're up for it, I'm going to go into this actually right now. Just time-wise, I want to make sure we get through everything. So in yogic terms, when we talk about vinyasa, which many of you I'm sure have heard, and many of you are like, I'm not really interested in that. What it really means, it is synchronizing your movement with your breath. One breath, one move. So if I said just the example now of doing a push-up, it is essentially exactly the same. Meaning when I do a push-up, I breathe in to lower, that's one move. I exhale, I push, that is one move. It's also a vinyasa. Synchronizing movement and breath is what we call vinyasa, and it's the intention behind it. In the asana practice, in yoga, the postures, what we do is when we inhale, it's always about moving up and lengthen. And when we exhale, the movement is always down and deeper. Okay? So if I'm going to lift weights, I inhale in the relaxation phase and I exhale on the exertion. Where I have to power through is the exertion. Okay? In yoga or asana practices, when I inhale, the movement is always up and lengthen, and when I exhale, the movement will be down and deeper. Okay? So if you ever come to a class or you're unsure, then maybe this will be a good point for you to start. Remember, inhale, up and lengthen, exhale, down and deepen. Okay? Right. And maybe we can just do this for a moment together, and then literal super simple sequence that I'm going to show you, if you're up for it, just to have a bit of movement before we come to close. The time went by really fast. I spoke a lot. I hope you can take something from this. Checking quickly the comments, and then we do short sequence of movement. I've been doing push-ups all wrong. No wonder I got dizzy every time. Yeah, so we can do a push-up in there as well. So if you want to come all the way, we can come into a downward facing dog. Don't worry about the form so much for right now. Come a little bit closer in so that I'm nicely in the image. It's okay, press the heels down. Hands are firmly grounded into the floor. If your knees are bent, that's absolutely fine. If you're going to take a breath now, just come forward into your plank position. So breathe in and come forward to a plank position. Body is ready. Good. We're going to do a push-up from here. As you inhale, lower. Exhale, push up. You can lower your knees if you need to. Breathe in, lower. Exhale, push up. Good. And again, inhale to lower. Exhale to push up. Good. Come all the way down onto your belly. And I would just want to emphasize what I spoke about earlier when it comes to the more yogic way of doing it. Yogic. Bring your hands alongside your chest. Your neck is nice and long. Remember, inhale is up and lengthen. So inhale, press your pubic bone into the floor, draw the shoulder blades down your back, lift your chest. So we're going up. I lengthen, and I'm going up. As I exhale, I lower down. The movement is forward and deeper. Good. Inhale to lift and lengthen, up and lengthen. Exhale to lower. And this we do every time. If I come back onto my knees, And I want to step my left leg forward for a moment. I'm just going to demonstrate it so that you can apply it practically, maybe in the next session that you do. If I inhale from here, the movement goes up. I lengthen, I bring my arms up. I inhale and lengthen. As I exhale, I'm going to take it deeper. Right arm comes forward, left arm comes back into a twist, for example. I inhale, I lift it up again. I exhale, I go deeper, downwards and deeper. Inhale to lift, and bring it down, exhale. Okay, these are just examples to show you how we can implement that. Okay, it was important for me to make the session a little bit more practical in a sense of understanding. And you can apply this information into what you're already doing, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. We are 5 minutes before closing. I'm keeping the movement short, as you can tell. Thanks for understanding. And then I just had as well, just checking the comments and checking the notes. Okay, so I think I want to talk to you a little bit about what to take away from today mainly. And the main thing is, from my personal experience, as I explained to you when I was younger, don't hold your breath. Observe yourself. Are you holding your breath at times throughout your day? When you exercise, when you increase physical activity in general, okay? Observe yourself. When you get into a stressful situation, are you holding your breath? Keep breathing. Move the life force energy through the body, as we would say in yoga. And slow down your breathing as much as you can, okay? Again, deep breathing, even if the exercise gets more intensive, see if you can still regulate your breathing so that you can go longer, okay? And then I know it's relax and pay attention to what you're doing. But it is true. When you start to focus on your breath, try not to tense up your body and think, oh, that's another thing I have to do. I have to focus on my breath. Relax. Try to relax. Take an easy approach to it. It takes practice. We become good at what we practice, and don't expect yourself to be a champion at it right now after this session, especially because I have done a lot of explaining. And then take control of your breath. So use that ratio that we did. Use a count, maybe 4 to breathe in, 2 to hold, 6 to breathe out. For example, okay? Breathe through your nose, what we discussed, and out through your mouth when you feel that you need to release some extra tension. This can also be throughout your day. Don't think this, I said I want it to be as well to increase the quality of your life. So throughout your day, when you feel like you get into a stressed situation, allow yourself to take a deep, slow breath into the mouth, into the nose, and exhale through the mouth. Optional toning, adding sound to it when you want that real relaxation and extra release even more, okay? And then breathe with your diaphragm. Don't just hold the breath in your upper chest, as we discussed, all the way down into the diaphragm. Involve the diaphragm. Breathe into the back of the lungs. Feel the back of the lungs expanding. And then what we did all the time, check your posture. Yeah, check your posture. Align the crown of your head over your heart, the heart over your pelvis. Even if you're standing or even if you're sitting on a chair, find this nice straight line, okay? Again, it's a matter of supporting yourself to breathe properly so that you can move and live properly as well. And integrate it into your day. Integrate it conscious breathing and paying attention to your breath. For example, like I said earlier, before an event, before a meeting that you have, but also super simple, before training, bring yourself into that neutral state. Most of us will rush or will come from another situation, coming to training, starting to train, and we're still kind of in that sympathetic nervous system state. So neutralizing ourselves through breath before we go and add other stress onto the body before training. Give it a try. Neutralize yourself and increase as well the benefits of your training itself. And then, yeah, maybe involve breathing into your morning routine. Involve breathing before you go to bed or any time else during the day. I really encourage you to get into it. I would love to do another hour for this session, but we don't have the time. It's now the time. I really want to encourage you as well to keep on moving, especially during those times. NTC is there for you anytime, anywhere. You can do your workouts, put your workout plan together, or get support with it and have tips and tricks from our trainers. It's incredible. You can also connect with me if you want to. My name is Paleta. You can find me at Paleta CalmQuality. And yeah, I hope you were able to take something away. Feel free to type something into the chat. I'm going to come and have a quick look if I see anything before we close. But yeah, I want to say thank you so much. I hope that you have been able to take away something. Breathe in and out through the nose. Exhale through the mouth when you need an extra release. Any comments, any questions that you have, feel free to ask or share. I see thank yous. Somebody has asked as well, do you have breathing advice in running? I specifically do not specify in running. We have our running coaches that have, I believe also throughout this week, spoke about breathing for running. Definitely check it out in the app. They can give you amazing advice. I would love also some tips for running. Yes, so running, again, make sure that you check in with our running coaches. That's great. And then, yeah. I will close the session now. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Keep on breathing. All the best.